Hey, good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to Kate's. I'm Christopher James. I'm Christopher James. Happy to be here with you this Sunday night. What a great weekend, except for my New York Jets. They lost today. They looked like shit. But that's the way it goes sometimes. So, what do? You just go out there and do your thing. You watch your team lose. But I had a good weekend. I spent the weekend in Daytona Beach for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. BKFC 12. Great night of fights there. And we had a lot of fun. Hey, if you're just tuning in, welcome. Good to see you guys. I'm just popping up something here. Just give me 1 second, guys. So here we go. All right, so so we had a great night of fights at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 12 in Daytona Beach. Thiago Alves took a split decision from Julian Lane. A lot of people out there felt Julian Lane won that fight. Excuse me. I tend to agree. I think Julian Lane won the fight 48-47. I think he was the winner. Hi there, Debbie. How are you? So, what are you going to do? Though, that's how the fight game goes. You win some, you lose some, and you come back and you do it all again. That's what these guys like to do. So that's what they do. So there was a lot of stuff. And, if you're watching on Facebook, please comment on this because we're going to get into a topic here. And it's going to get a little, I don't know, nasty, I guess. I don't know, man. So I'm glad to be here tonight, and I'm glad to be here with all of you guys. I can't wait to jump into this. Don't forget, I got some shows coming up. September 24th, I'll be in Biloxi, Mississippi for Roy Jones Jr. Boxing and for the debut of Icon, Fighting Federation Icon 1. It will take place in Biloxi, Mississippi, live on UFC Fight Pass. I'll be ring announcing both of those shows. 2 days later, I'll be in Tunica, Mississippi for the debut of Toe of the Line Fight Series. It's a bare knuckle fighting championship offshoot. It's going to be used as a developmental / feeder league. I'll be ring announcing that event September 26th in Tunica. Excuse me. October 3rd, I'll be in Pensacola for Island Fight 64. That's my home. That's my people. I'm excited about that. October 16th, I will be in Plant City, Florida for Toe of the Line 2. And October 22nd, I'll be in Hermosillo, Mexico, or San Carlos, Mexico, one of the two. And it'll be for Roy Jones Jr. Boxing and Icon Fighting Federation's second event, Icon 2, live on UFC Fight Pass. The Toe of the Line fights will be airing on the BKTV app. Download it at www.bktvapp.com. And jump on board, man. We're ready to have us a good time. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to keep this thing rolling along for you. Last night we had UFC in Vegas, UFC Vegas 10, UFC on ESPN+35, if you will. And, some really good fights last night. But, man, there was a couple of mistakes made and bad mistakes. And one of the referees truly cost a fighter a win. Now, this guy did get the full winner's pay because Dana White feels he won. He got robbed. Excuse me. So, that's the way it goes sometimes, I guess. But, man, that was horrible last night. I feel so bad for Mr. Mike Rodriguez. And like I said, we're going to get into that in just a second. I just want to go over a couple of things here real quick with you. And let me do this. All right. So, first of all, last night's card. Let's see. Let's get right to it. Opening bout, Sabina Mazo and Justine Kish. Kish gets the win, Mazo gets the win with the rear naked choke. Beautiful setup with a head kick. Got her down, took her back, and boom, that was the end of the fight. Unanimous decision in our next fight between Brian Barbarena and Anthony Ivey. It was a walkover for Barbarena. He controlled the whole fight. Fight number 3, Jalen Turner, the Tarantula against Brock Chatatuska-Weaver. Catchweight at 165. And it ended in the second round. Weaver was choked out, rear naked choke. So that sucks. Brock is 1-2 in the UFC right now. In the next fight, a heavy one, Alexander Romanov and Rogue Martinez. This was a really cool fight. It went into the second round. Our arm triangle submission for Romanov. He looked really good out there. Now, people are talking, we got to watch out for him as a contender in the heavyweight division. Well, he just got there. So let's not put him in title contention just yet. Let's get him a few more wins, maybe get a top 10 guy before we, coronate him as the next big thing. In the next bout, Roosevelt Roberts, and Kevin Kroom. Kroom was the biggest underdog on the card, which means Roberts was the biggest favorite on the card. And Kroom got performance of the night for this one with the guillotine choke 31 seconds into the fight. He rocked Roberts with a big left hand, I believe it was. And then he went and grabbed the neck, took him around, twisted his neck around a little bit, and then Roberts was forced to tap 31 seconds in. Sajara Eubanks takes home a win via unanimous decision against Julia Avila, the Raging Panda, I believe her nickname is. She came out strong in the first, and then she got rocked and worked over. The wrestling of Eubanks was stellar, and her jiu-jitsu absolutely worked to perfection. Billy Quarantillo took on Kyle Nelson. Real good fight. First round, some said it might have went to Nelson. I felt Quarantillo won it. First round, won the second round. 7 seconds into round 3, knocked him out. That was it. A one-punch walk-off knockout for Mr. Quarantillo. That was awesome. Bobby Green and Alan Patrick. Bobby Green dominated Cruz to a unanimous decision. Roxanne Monteferri took a unanimous decision against Andrea Lee. Ottoman Azatir took out Kama Worthy with KO, TKO/TKO, and Michelle Watterson won a split decision against Angela Hill, a fight that I think Angela Hill won. Now, the fight I really want to talk about, and I hope you guys will chime in and get this conversation going with me, is, well, we're going to talk, Alex. We're going to talk. And in that Watterson-Angela Hill fight, one of the judges, Derek Cleary, scored it 4-1 for Watterson, which I couldn't fucking believe. That was ridiculous. It was 2-2 going into the fifth. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to share the scorecards later on an article on mymmashow.com. That's my website. So I'm going to put up all the scorecards in just a little bit after we get done with the show. But he got it wrong. I think the decision was wrong. I'm not mad. One, because it doesn't really affect me, but two, I mean, it was that close of a fight. But Ed Herman took on Mike Rodriguez. Now, Mike Rodriguez in the second round was just rocking him, working him, and he had him. He finished him. I mean, technically, it should have been a TKO finish. And instead, a strike came in, and it hit him in the belly, hit him in the gut, clean in the gut. You could see it on all the replays. Everybody's talking about this. Referee Chris Tognoni called a halt to the action and assessed the nut shot that he didn't see. When Herman got hit in the groin, or hit in the belly, when he was folded over to go down because he was done, he held his groin. And so without seeing a groin strike, or you know what I'm saying, Tognoni decided that, it must have been a groin strike because the guy's holding his fucking balls. Herman was masterful in his performance. He played it to the fucking devil's end. He should get an Oscar for best fake nut shot reception of the year because he didn't get hit in the nuts. He got his body rocked, and he was TKO'd. I mean, let's be real. During that whole sequence, he ended up TKO'd. The referee fucked up, straight up. And, Chris Tognoni, I've always thought he's one of the better referees, but last night, man, is just a shining example of referees fucking things up. Now, in the third round, Herman came back and won the fight, secured the win via Kimura. But we never should have been there in the first place. We never should have been in that round in the first place because the fight should have been over. And in that instance, because now they've adopted replay, and not just for fight, for a fight-ending sequence, when that nut shot, the ghost nut shot took place, they could have used replay to see what had happened and to see that the TKO had actually taken place, and then they could have stopped the fight, which is what should have fucking happened. They got it wrong. Tognoni, like I said, I thought he was one of the good guys, but man, this is incompetence at its finest level. Dana White was asked about it at the press conference. I'm going to play an audio clip for you guys. I hope I don't get in trouble for this. But this is MMA Junkie reporter John Morgan asking Dana White about it. And I hope you guys can hear. I'm going to sit back and you guys just listen up. And like I said, I hope you hear it really well. Let me make sure I get this up here. All right, so here we go. Listen to this clip.
I know you don't like to bang on referees anymore in your advanced age, but I got to ask
you. It's hard not to bang on this guy.
I got to ask you about the Mike Rodriguez fight at Herman.
The worst I've ever seen. He's at fucking Mazzagatti level. Some Mazzagatti level shit right there.
Mazzagatti level shit right there. Steve Mazzagatti, Dana White's most hated referee. And that's what he's, equating this to. We continue.
That was one of the worst things I've ever seen. That kid wins by knockout, tactical knockout, and loses the fight. Just one of the worst things I've ever seen.
It seems like that's something that could have been fixed if a replay was looked at.
I was all over him tonight about replay. We have to have replay. It's got to be replay. All you got to do is look at the fucking replay that's playing 6,000 times while Herman's on the ground and say, "Oh shit, I made a mistake."
The referee could have looked at the screen. Everybody else in the building probably looked at the screen when they were playing the replay in there. All of us watching on Fight Pass or on ESPN Plus saw it. How did the ref not fucking see that he fucked up?
You can't see everything. They're human. You can't see everything. That's a tough one. Now, how you think that is a groin kick is next level nuts, but whatever. It happens, and what are you going to do? It happened.
Curiosity.
We're giving Mike his win money too. He won the fucking fight. So
very cool.
You heard that. Now Rodriguez is getting the winner's money as well as Herman for getting the win because Dana White felt he won the fight and got robbed by a referee. These are the things that piss me off about refereeing and judging. There's going to be no action taken against the referee for a clear, blatant fucking screw up. If I screw up my job, I get in trouble. If I screw up my job, though, I'm not affecting somebody else's career or their livelihood. You know what I'm saying? This guy is. Judges also have that same effect. So, Chris Tognoni, like I said, he made it bad. And I haven't heard anything from him or from the commission in Vegas. Rodriguez's team has already said the appeal process will start as soon as they're able to officially begin an appeals process. And rightfully so, because that was a fuck up. Now, what's going to happen is they're going to make an appeal, and the commission is going to side with the referee, of course, because that's what they all do. They always protect each other, even when they're fucking wrong. That's the truth, bottom line. So they're not going to say that Tognoni made a mistake. They're not going to sanction him, and they should. He should be financially sanctioned for his lack of or dereliction of duty, as far as I'm concerned. That fight should not have been stopped at that moment. And Rodriguez should have been able to finish the fight because it was going to be finished right then and there. The referee took the opportunity away from him, and that's fucking wrong. Fucking wrong. I'm tired of this shit, man. Herb Dean are also in the night. You guys know I've been on Herb Dean's ass lately because he made some pretty stellar mistakes in the Kamaworthy fight. I felt, and Kamaworthy was a good sport about it, but I still think maybe Kamaworthy had another 5-6 seconds to see if he can get himself out of trouble. I think, he did get rocked, no doubt about it. But I do think Herb Dean jumped the gun. And, last week, was it last week? Last week I was complaining about nut shot from Stipe Miocic. Was it Stipe Miocic? I don't even remember what fight I was watching. But last week there was a fight. There was 4 nut shots landed. 0. Alistair Overeem. I'm sorry. Alistair Overeem's fight versus Augusto Sakai. Reem landed 4 nut shots. None of them cost him a point. When I complained about this, somebody said to me, well, it doesn't matter. It didn't change the outcome of the fight. Well, it didn't change the outcome the way it did last night in the Rodriguez and Herman fight, but it still affects the fight. Do you guys get that? It affects the fight. There should have been a point taken, if not 2 after the 4th one, a total of 2. Now, regardless, Reem went out there and finished the fight. So and that would have been the only way he would have secured victory had the points been deducted. Luckily for him, he didn't have to put it to the judges because he finished the fight. But it doesn't, and somebody says, well, it doesn't matter because it didn't affect. You're right. You know what? It didn't affect the overall outcome, but it could have. But here's the thing. Even if it doesn't affect the outcome, it does not exonerate the referee from not doing the job properly. Period. Just because Reem went out there and won the fight, by finishing it, doesn't mean that there still should have not been point deductions. Wouldn't have mattered at the end of the day as far as, the scoring because he finished the fight, so the judges don't come into play. It doesn't mean the referee doesn't have to do their job properly, 98.5% of the time, maybe 99%. I mean, listen, they're human beings. Dana White said it in that audio clip I played, but 99% of the time, you got to be right. You have a lot of responsibility, and there's a lot riding on a referee and a judge doing the thing right. You cannot get it wrong. And in last night's instance, fucking like Dana said, one of the most horrible things I've ever seen in an MMA fight, where the referee completely 100% changed the outcome of the fight because of his ineptness. Ed Herman, seasoned veteran, got hit in the belly, reached for his groin, and, so Tognoni, he must have got hit in the ball. So he stopped the fight. Did Tognoni see the strike? Nope, he didn't. Did he see contact to the groin area? No, he did not. You cannot take the fighter's word. Unless you see it, it didn't happen. And you can't, it's like getting a traffic ticket in a car accident. You know what I'm saying? And it never works out the way it's supposed to. The cop cannot assess guilt or fault because they didn't see the fucking accident. However, the cops will write a ticket to somebody based on the stories, and it comes down to who they believe. That's it. It's their opinion of who they believe. But, if you're the guy that didn't cause the accident, you get a ticket, now it affects your life. You know what I'm saying? Now, for me, I had an accident in May. I got crushed. I have the black box data from the other car. The girl was doing 77 miles an hour in a 35-mile-an-hour zone around a blind curve with trees. There was no way to see her coming because at that rapid rate of speed, when I first looked to make my turn, she wasn't there. Then all of a sudden she was there, right? So now I have to spend money on a lawyer to go to court, and I'm going to get out of this because it wasn't my fault. So my attorney is fucking phenomenal, Anthony Gonzalez, out of here in Tampa. Gonzalez and Bird, they're awesome, and they support the MMA community, fucking fight community overall. Good people. But so for Tognoni to assess a foul and stop the fight when he did was wrong. He didn't see a nut shot. He went off the fighter's reaction. Great acting job by Ed Herman, but he knows. And there's another clip in here. Let me find this one right here because I want you to listen to Ed Herman talking about the fight itself. And where is it? Oh, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm on the wrong spot. I'm going to play you an audio clip from Ed Herman post-fight last night. Because I want you to hear his explanation because, again, and you can hear it in his explanation, he knows he was full of shit. I did have it here somewhere stocked up. Hang on a second. Let me expand this page here. Just give me a second, guys. Oh, wait, hold on. I didn't even get to the page. That's why I'm going, where the fuck is this thing? I know I had it on here. So I hope you guys enjoyed the fights last night because there were some really good fights last night. Like I said, Hill and Watterson, what a fucking battle those ladies had. Let me find this clip of Ed Herman. Running his yak about, I didn't know what happened. I didn't know where I got. All right, listen to this. You ready?
I don't know where I got hit, but I know I was hurt and I went down. I don't know if it was the groin or the body, but all I know is I went down.
Oh, where'd it go? They just lose the clip? Let's try that again. Sorry about that, guys.
I don't know where I got hit, but I know I was hurt and I went down. I don't know if it was the groin or the body, but all I know is I went down and, I'm not really sure. I have to watch the tape and see how bad it was. I was freaking tired, man.
I was freaking tired. There was no energy in the arena. There's no fans. So he's, saying that he had no energy. But the words he said, I don't know where I was hit. let me tell you fucking something. I'm a guy, and there's no mistaking for me when I get hit in the stomach or when I get hit in the fucking balls. He's full of shit. He knows it. I know it. You watch the fight, you know it. That was fucking 100% crap. Unacceptable. To me, that's unsportsmanlike conduct. You know, I mean, honestly, you know, like, it's bad. It's bad. You know, I put up a post last night before the fight ended, about the whole incident. And I said it was very Vlade Divac, former LA Laker, the king of flopping when there was no foul that happened. And it was fucking, oh my God. And that's what he would do. He would get fouls called against other guys in the NBA because he was a flopper, you know, trying to take advantage of a situation. That's exactly what Ed Herman did last night. He took advantage of the situation. He wasn't hitting the nuts. He knows it. He don't have to go back and look at the replay. And you know what? I'm sure even when he did this interview, he saw the replay because it was playing in the arena. Even during when it hit the timeout, it was playing. So he knows what he did. Fucking be a man and own your shit. That's what you need to do. You need to step up and say, you know what, man? I didn't get hit in the nuts. Took advantage of the situation. I'd respect him a little bit for that. You know, he worked the system, you know, straight up. But he didn't even, you know, own it like a man. But make no mistake. I mean, I know there's other guys out there watching this right now. How many guys out there cannot tell if they got hit in the stomach or they got hit in the nuts? Go ahead. I'll wait for somebody to comment and tell me. If you say that you can't tell the difference, you know what? You don't have nuts. Period. There is no equating a nut shot to a stomach shot. Yes, they both hurt. Yes, they'll get your attention. But when you get hit in the balls, it's like no other pain that, you know, when you get hit anywhere else on your body. My head gets hit, that hurts. My stomach gets hit, that hurts. Arms, legs, everything. Nuts. Those fuckers have a distinct pain that goes along with them when they get rocked. Let me hear the rest of what Ed Herman has to say for you guys.
Energy in here is really weird, being defined like this. So, man, Mike's a hell of a tough guy, man. He was putting it on me, and you know, my experience pulled through. And I probably should have pulled guard sooner. Maybe I could have locked something up, but he's a big, strong guy, and you know.
So that was that. Okay, so he didn't say much else except the fact that he tried to, you know, negate the fact that, you know, he tried to move past it really quick about talking about it because he knows what happened. He knows exactly what the fuck happened. He lied. He did. And the referee bought his bullshit. And the referee is not supposed to do that. The referee is supposed to know better. And again, the referee is not supposed to call a foul. You can't call a foul you didn't fucking see. Period. You know? I hate to use a professional wrestling thing in this equation because we know professional wrestling is scripted. However, look at some of the things you see on professional wrestling. If you watch, you know, you have a tag team match. There's two guys over here, or, you know, you have a match where, you know, the attaché or valet or manager of a wrestler is out ringside. So let's say, or his tag team partner's out there in a singles match. It doesn't matter. You're in there in the ring, you're doing something, and, you know, you knock your opponent down, then you get the referee's attention. You have him turn his back, and your teammate punches your opponent in the face from the outside of the ring, you know? Now, the referee didn't see it, and he doesn't call it. You know, even if the guy stands up and goes, he hit me with this. How do you know? He didn't see it. So, you know, even though it's a script and it's acting, it's the same theory. Chris Tognoni didn't see the nut shot. Therefore, the nut shot never should have been called. And the reason Chris Tognoni didn't see the nut shot was because there was no nut shot. You got it? There was no nut shot. He got hit in the fucking gut and got folded. Period. That's the way it is. End of story. End of discussion on that. He got folded and lost the fight right there. He should have gotten a TKO. And I'm bummed and I'm pissed that this appeal is going to go unanswered. It's a waste of time and effort on his team because the commission in Vegas will never, ever turn their back on a referee. And there's been plenty of decisions that have been appealed, you know, referee decisions, judges' decisions. I've never heard of one being overturned. The only time I've heard of fights being overturned in results is when it's drug-related, you know, and somebody failed a drug test, and then the commission will automatically overturn it. You know, I mean, Nick Diaz and Anderson Silva fought, right? And both got DQ'd. They both tested positive for something, so it becomes a no decision or a no contest or no decision. You know what I'm saying? So this is how it works. They're not going to get any fruit for their reward when they make this appeal. And if they do make this appeal and follow through with it and something happens, I'll be shocked. I would like the win overturned to a no contest. And I'm sure, Ed Herman doesn't want it turned over, but Mike Rodriguez does, and he goddamn sure deserves it because he had the fight won. The referee cost him the win. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's all out there. It's black and white. It's clear as day. I don't even have to, rant about it because it was so clear as day. I don't have to say, well, if you go look and, you look past this and that, I don't have to say any of that because it's on film. Plain as day to see. Tognoni did not even see the thing happen, and was just shittier because he's supposed to be watching the fucking fight, right? But I agree with Dana White. This is so Steve Mazzagatti-esque. This was a horrible, horrible call. And I guarantee you Dana White is going to have a word with the commission and say, I can't have Tognoni fucking refereeing fights. And I can't blame him. A fighter's livelihood is on the line. Health, safety, welfare, all of it. You got to have the best guys in there. They're not going to get rid of Herb Dean because, for some reason, everybody thinks he's one of the best. And, maybe back in a few years ago, he was probably at the top of the game, but he isn't anymore. He's made numerous mistakes recently, and that's horrible. These referees, and because there's no sanctioning against a referee. So these guys, operate freely with no fear of any repercussions of them making a mistake. It's like in some of the other sports, like in baseball, you can't argue a strike with an umpire. Why? If it was not a strike, you should have the right to say, hey, that wasn't a strike and discuss it. If you argue balls and strikes with the umpire in Major League Baseball, you get ejected from the game. That's ridiculous. If you say something in a post-fight press conference or a post-fight, game conference, criticizing referees and officials in the NBA, you get fined. So a referee in an NBA game can do all kinds of fucked up shit, miss calls, create calls, and all kinds of dumb shit. Completely wrong. And not just that the players are calling, but that everybody watching the game saw. Whether you're a fan of the team or not, listen, there's been plenty of times I've been watching sporting events where a team of mine or an athlete of mine was playing or competing, and that team or athlete broke the rule. I'll sometimes sit there and yell at the team and watch the football and go, oh, you got to fucking penalize my guy for that. Even though I don't want my guy penalized, in a football game or something where, they make an illegal hit. I don't want my guy to take the penalty, but God damn it, sometimes, you got to be able to be fair about it. And if you're somebody you're supporting or rooting for makes a fuck up, you have to be able to say, you know what? He deserves the penalty because he did it. You saw it. I saw it. He saw it. They saw it. They know they did it. I know they did it. Intent, may not ever come into play. Accidental or not, you committed the foul, and if you're given a pass one time, that's fine. Nut shot, accidental, blah, 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 or an eye poke, blah, blah, blah. So you're given a pass usually on one, sometimes two, but you should never get a pass after two. So, like Overeem, 4 nut shots, no points taken. He should have lost 2 points in that fight. And again, he's still knocked out. He still finished the fight, but it doesn't excuse the referee that was on the scene that night from making the right call, and he didn't. I cannot stress enough how important it is that these fighters have competent officials in the ring or the cage when they are working for their health and safety concerns, for their financial concerns, for protection of their family and their future and their career. Dana White sitting there. So obviously, Mike Rodriguez taking that loss last night isn't going to affect his status with the UFC. Dana saw it with his own 2 eyes. We all saw it with our own 2 eyes. Unless we weren't watching, then you didn't see it. But there's video out there of it. Go look. You'll see it, and you'll find it, and you'll be like, holy shit, how the fuck did they get away with that? Woo. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm a little hopped up about this because it makes me angry when these mistakes are made. Also, like I said, with judges, Derek Cleary clearly got one wrong last night as far as his score. Now, let me see something here. I have all the scorecards right here. I'm going to share them out later, but so we'll start right here. Waterson and Hill. Chris Lee had it 48-47 for Angela Hill. Sal D'Amato had it wrong. I'm sorry. Pardon me, Mr. Cleary. Sal D'Amato had it 49-46. He gave round 2, 3, 4, and 5 to Waterson. Gave round 1 to Hill. Hill won round 1 clearly on the other two cards. How these people can get it wrong, when the other two, and you're all supposed to be professional, got it right. So that was fucked up. Atman Azatar, Kamaworthy. No need for the scorecards. Azatar won by unanimous or by a knockout. Roxanne Monteferri versus Andrea Lee. Now on this card, and this is what gets me. So the same 3 judges, Chris Lee, Sal D'Amato, and Derek Clearly, all scored the fight exactly the same. And the scores were for Monteferri on all 3 judges' cards. Monteferri took round 1 and 3. And on all 3 cards, Andrea Lee took round 2. So she gets the 29-28 win, Monteferri, that is. But if they can all get it right on this one and see the fight the exact same way, how in the fuck can they look at the main event and have such a different score? It doesn't make sense to me. You all watch the same fight here and got the score right. Ed Herman versus Mike Rodriguez. In this fight, Herman was down 10-9. And again, here they all had the same score. 10-9 all the way across the board from all 3 judges. And this was Ron McCarthy, Chris Lee, and Dave Hagan. So a different set of judges. But nonetheless, they all were on the same page because they were all watching the same fight, which means, they should all have the same score if the same thing's going down. Bobby Green versus Alan Patrick, 30-27, 30-27, 30-27. There was no doubts there. Bell, Cleary, and D'Amato. In the next bout, Billy Q versus Kyle Nelson. Now, in this one, Derek Cleary had it 2 rounds to none. Because remember, the fight got stopped in the 3rd with a knockout. Cleary had it 2-0 for Kyle Nelson. Both of the other judges had split, one round, round 1 for Billy Q, and round 1 for Kyle Nelson, and round 2 for Billy Q. I could see that a little bit, so I'm not going to fuss with it. In the next fight, it was Julia Avila, the Raging Panda against Sajara Sarge Eubanks. Now, the score on this final was 29-27 all the way across the board. If you're looking at the scores, Avila, Ron McCarthy scored it 10-9 for Avila, 8-10 in the second round, and 9-10 in the third round. And I'm reading it from left to right. So the first scores I'm reading are Avila's scores. So Avila scored 10-8-9 by McCarthy, 10-8-9 by D'Amato, 10-8-9 by Mike Bell. Hence the 29-27. Even though Hill only won 2 rounds, or Eubanks only won 2 rounds, she won the second round with a dominant performance. Ro Roberts, we don't need to see that card. Romanov versus Roque Martinez. Round 1, they all had it 10-8 for Romanov, and then, of course, the fight ended. Submission 422 of round number 2. Brock Weaver, Jalen Turner, same thing with the finish. We didn't need to see the judges' cards, but they all had it 10-9 for Turner, and rightly so. Brian Barbarena versus Anthony Ivey. The scores were 30-27, 30-27, 29-28 for Barbarena. So they were close to getting it all right, but that was Richard Winter, Junshiro Kamijo, and Dave Hagan were the referees on that one. And in the first fight, Sabino Mazzo versus Justine Kish. And it was all, the thing is, in this one, Richard Winter had it going into the third round where the fight ended, had Kish up 2-0, or 2 rounds. Junshiro Kamijo had it 1-1, and Mike Bell had it 2-1, or 2-0 for Kish. Luckily, Mazzo came out and finished the fight because she could have come up, on the wrong end of a decision, but she was losing. I mean, she was losing the fight. So, you got to go out there and finish it. And that's exactly what she did. Took home the win. So I'll share the copies of all these scorecards later on mymmashow.com. But I just had to get that off my chest, man. It's got to stop. Referees got to be held accountable. I'm held accountable at my job. You all are held accountable at your jobs, I'm guessing. So, accountability is key. Accountability is important. And if you have a job where other people's livelihoods are impacted by the way you do your job, then you have to be better at your fucking job. Bottom line. And I don't care if anybody sees this and they don't like what I have to say, because I'm speaking the truth. That's it. It was a wrong move by Chris Tognoni. And, once he sees his Facebook rant about mine, because we're friends on Facebook, and, I'm sure he'll see it because, he pops on my page periodically and responds to stuff. So he's going to see it, and I'll probably lose him as a Facebook friend, but I don't care. Whatever. I'm speaking the truth, and, maybe he'll balls up and man up more than Ed Herman, and he'll take ownership of his mistake. How fucking refreshing would that be? Now, if he comes out and says he totally made a mistake, he went back and watched the footage, and then the appeal happens and it's not overturned, then you just know, man, that just stop appealing, because if this is not a clear-cut case for an appeal and an overturn of a decision or an overturn of the ending of a fight, I don't know what is. Don't know what it is. So I don't know what they'd be looking for. Yeah, Bam Bam Alex, that's what I'm saying. I mean, one of those judges definitely must have been favored because, 4 rounds to 1? 4 rounds to 1 from Sal D'Amato. He only gave Angela Hill the first, or the first. After that, it was all 9-9-9-9, 9-9-9-9. So, but Hill clearly won the first 2 rounds. Round 3 and round 4, you could give to Hill, or you can give to Waterson. Excuse me. I'm going to be honest with you. Round 3 to me, even with the takedown that was secured, I still think Angela was the aggressor. I think she won that round, so, but rounds 4 and 5, so, were definitely for Waterson. So I had the first 3 on my card, for Angela Hill. So she won the fight before they even got to the, title or the main event rounds. And, but it's so sad and so sorry that these things happen, because they shouldn't, things like this should not happen. It really, truly bothers me that it does, but that's the way it works. So it just sucks. But anyway, I'm going to jump on off here. I've got to go, rest my head in pity as the Jets lost today, opening game of the season. They lost. Tom Brady and the Buccaneers lost. So, but it's 1 game in, so I'm not going to hit the panic button yet. I usually save that for week 3 because then I know exactly how my team's season is going to be. I'm going to work on some guests for you guys this week. Hopefully Tuesday night I'll have a nice show set up for you with Joe Selecki should be on the show. I'm going to reach out and try to get Marcel Stamps of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship to join us this week. He'll be fighting Joey Beltran for the BKFC Heavyweight Championship, as well as the Police Gazette American Heavyweight Championship, the Diamond Belt, I believe that's what it's called. So there's a lot of good stuff going on out there in the news as far as that goes. I'm going to also have a couple of Contender Series alum on here that have earned contracts. Love my Mountain Dew. But that's it. If you guys have any questions, shoot them at me now before I sign off. And do me a favor, share this video around wherever you go. Don't forget to follow my YouTube page as well. It's CRICKATOOXFC. Cricketoo XFC is my YouTube handle. I don't know how that happened. It was a long time ago. But anyway, you can check it out right there. All my shows do air there. And I'm also working on having this all converted over, just audio files, because I don't have any place I can do a video podcast, but all the audio file will be there. So I'm going to try to get these out on podcast and as many episodes as I can. So we'll see what we can do there. Couple of weeks away from Adesanya and Costa. That's going to be awesome. I'm taking Costa to win that fight. And that's it, man. We're going to jump on out of here. I was going to talk about Bellator, but then I decided I didn't want to. So we won't. Maybe another night. But anyway, thanks for tuning in today and letting me be a part of your life, and you guys being a part of mine for even a little bit of time. It means the world to me, and I can never actually put it into the words it means to me. But thanks again for hanging out. Don't forget, I'll be in Biloxi, Mississippi, September 24th for Roy Jones Jr. Boxing and Icon Fighting Federation 1. Both of those events will air live on UFC Fight Pass, and so you want to tune in and watch them. 2 days later, September 26th, I'll be in Tunica, Mississippi on the BKTV app, and I'll be ring announcing for Toe the Line, the new fighter, the new bare knuckle fighting league that will be a developmental / feeder league for the big show of BKFC, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, which had a great show this past weekend. October 3rd, the following weekend, I will be in Pensacola, Florida, the home of Island Fights, and my family, my home. That's my ring announcing home. I've been there for about 25 or 26 shows now with these guys. So maybe more. I don't even know. I think I've lost count. Okay, give me 1 second, Bam, Alex Bam. So we got that going on. October 16th, I will be in Plant City, Florida for Toe the Line 2. And then October 22nd, I will be in Mexico, either Hermosillo or San Carlos, to ring it out for Roy Jones Jr. Boxing. And once again, Icon Fighting Federation, their second event, Icon 2, debuting in Mexico. So our first show is on Fight Pass here in the States, in Mississippi. Our second show is in Mexico. That's right, man. We're going to Mexico. International shows right off the jump from this new promotion. Headed up by Keith Veltre and his matchmaker, Dean Toole, who's also the president and CEO of Island Fights, also does some work with Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. He's around there all the time. So, he's got a lot of stuff going on. All right. So you want to talk about the Otman Azatir versus Kamaworthy, the knockout? It was 1:33. I felt that the knockout call, how shall I say it? Let me see. Herb Dean was the referee. I felt he jumped the gun a little bit on stopping the fight. Not saying that wasn't going to be the eventual outcome, but in that moment where he stopped it, I think Worthy, based on his record and his fighting acumen, I think he should have been given a little more time. I don't think he was completely out. Now, don't get me wrong, he got up and he got a little wobbled. So, that's just the way it is. But that's just my opinion of Herb Dean. And maybe I'm a little more critical of Herb Dean now because I've been watching him make so many mistakes recently that I'm going to, pick at all of them. If I see something that's a discrepancy or is wrong, I'm going to call it out, and if people don't like it, I don't care. Just trying to be honest about stuff so people, get a fair shake. And that's it. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again, once again, for hanging out with me this afternoon. I totally appreciate it. I'm going to go watch a little more football today, and then I'm going to watch The Masked Singer. It's season 3 now. I love that show. It's so silly. It's so fun trying to figure out who these people are. So I'm going to go do all that. I hope you folks enjoy the rest of your night. And, again, this was the weekend of September 11th, 19 years ago. Our country was under attack by terrorists. Many lives were lost. Many lives were given in trying to save lives. To all those out there that lost their lives, to their families that were affected, to the firehouses that lost half their crews, and the policemen that died, and all the, everybody that, was affected by this. God bless you all. God bless the USA. And we're never going to let that happen on our shores again. That's it. Take pride in being an American. And if you don't believe me how great it is here, just remember, I'm going to leave you with this. I just want to, remind you guys something. I just have to pull up the right thing so I don't say the wrong name, because that would be disrespectful. I don't want to do that. But rest in peace, Navid Afkari, 1993 to 2020. He was an Iranian wrestling champion who was at a protest in Iran. And yesterday or the day before, his sentence was executed as he was executed by death by hanging in Iran for attending a peaceful protest where, somebody got killed or stabbed or somebody died. I don't remember if they said they shot him or he killed him. But after hours and hours of torture and, berating and belittling by the authorities over there, Afkari said that he was involved. But they feel that he was forced into saying that, and they just wanted to put a face on this crime because I don't think they really worry about stuff like that, to be honest with you over there. Some people do, but for the most part, I don't think they care. But in a country where you can't protest at all or you die, and people are talking how bad our country is here, just remember, man, even though some of the people out there are rioting and protesting and being assholes, straight up fucking looting and doing dumb shit and messing with people just to mess with them, always remember that, and you're all the people that say the country is bad. Our country is not bad because you know what? If the country was as bad as you're saying it is, you'd be laying in a grave next to Navid Afkari. Think about that, because you have the right to talk and protest here. And you're not going to prison. You're not going to die for protesting. Now, if you kill somebody during a protest, you're probably going to, if depending on the state, get the death penalty. But, Dana White reached out to the Iranian, Dana White reached out to President Trump. President Trump reached out to the Iranian government. Their pleas were ignored, and this man was executed for attending a peaceful protest, trying to protect his rights as a human being in the country where he called home, a country that he represented in the world of wrestling, and they still killed him. So next time you want to bag on America, remember the name Navid. I'm getting a little choked up. Navid Afkari, and remind yourself that it's not that bad here. Do we have problems? Yes. Are they fixable? Yes. The option is go to Iran and protest what they're doing over there, and you get measured out for a pine box. That's it, guys. Costa's going to win, Dizzy. Costa's going to win that fight. I think he's going to finish Israel Adesanya. Yep, it was definitely a bad stoppage, like I said, for the nut shot that didn't happen. And the way Ed Herman did get the submission was definitely slick. But that's it, So, again, thanks, guys, for tuning in, man. I got to jump out of here. I got some few things I got to do. Because I got to do. I'll hit you guys up with a guest list this week of some of my guests that are going to be joining us on the show. And until then, you've been Cage Side. I'm Christopher James. Good night.